Arrived at the meeting place, I immediately changed into a three-piece suit and walked towards the main characters. They looked at me strangely. How should I put it? It's like they're looking at an alien. No, not just them, even the couples next to them looked at me curiously. Ding! Wisnovel reminds you to click the subscribe button in the bottom right corner to read the complete novel. Is it because our group of 3 men and 1 woman is strange? Have you never seen a date with 3 handsome guys at once? The waiter who poured water was even hesitating about who to take the order from. I boldly ordered a lot of expensive dishes. Take that. I don't believe I can't charm you. The puppy-like guy looked at me in confusion and asked, Aurora, what's wrong with your eyes? What's wrong with your mouth? The second male lead said, Are you catching a cold? Why are you wearing so much in the middle of summer? Host, their favorability towards you has turned negative. Host, if you don't choose a target to pursue, one part of your body will temporarily lose its function. What? There's such a thing? Yes. A part of my body temporarily losing its function? I couldn't help but have doubts in my mind. It wouldn't be eating or going to the bathroom, right? But it's not life-threatening, so it's okay. So, I relaxed my guard. The male lead leaned back on the chair with a face begging to be beaten and said, So, Aurora, why did you bring the 3 of us here to play tricks? Do you want to use IOU to threaten us into your bed again? What nonsense are you talking about? Even if I wanted to, it would be 1 by 1. Is there a need for all 3 of you? Upon hearing this, the waiter who was pouring wine trembled. I subconsciously wanted to reach out and support him, but my hand did not obey and ended up reaching towards the waiter's buttocks. The waiter exclaimed and shouted, Pervert. I was shocked myself. I saw myself in the mirror in front of me, exactly like a lewd female pervert. So this is what it means to lose function. Is the system trying to kill me? How could there be such an inappropriate punishment? Everyone in the restaurant looked at me. The main characters felt embarrassed and ran away regardless of my pleading eyes. I can say that I have never encountered such an embarrassed situation in my life. I wish I could find a piece of tofu to kill myself. The waiter persistently called the manager over, demanding an explanation from me. I repeatedly apologized, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. But my hand couldn't be controlled and kept reaching out, trying to undo the waiter's clothes. The manager, seeing that I was so shamelessly bold, grabbed my hand. Even if you are from a wealthy family, you can't openly harass people like this. This is so unfair, it's all because of that damn system. Call the police, or expose her. The manager said, taking out his phone. I cried for help in my heart. Suddenly, someone held the manager's hand down. It's Alexis Bush. Who would have known? When you're in your most embarrassing moment, it's so touching when someone reaches out a helping hand to you. I could see stars in Alexis's eyes. I quickly pulled Alexis over and hid behind him. Thank you, buddy. Alexis worriedly turned his head and asked me, Aurora, what happened? Did they bully you? I felt ashamed. I was in the wrong. I couldn't explain myself. Why isn't he calling me miss anymore? He really doesn't regard my noble status as important. Forget it, let's focus on the matter at hand. I almost burst into tears. Thinking that I was being bullied, Alexis grabbed the manager's hand even harder. Apologized to her. The manager couldn't express his grievances and kept shouting ouch as Alexis squeezed him. Little did he know that I was the one acting like a rascal. His voice was not loud, but it carried a sense of intimidation. Can't you hear? I told you to apologize to her. It's this Miss Joan who acted like a rascal towards me. She acted like a rascal towards you? Alexis frowned, clearly not believing it. Towards you? The waiter, feeling wronged, was almost in tears. It was clearly her who acted like a rascal. If you don't believe me, you can ask her. No need to ask, she definitely won't. To be honest, I was a bit surprised that Alexis trusted me so much. But now is not the time to be touched. Feeling guilty, I wanted to pull Alexis away. Little did I know, as soon as I reached out my hand, I immediately realized something was wrong. My unruly right hand, my deeply sinful right hand, actually touched a part of Alexis that shouldn't be described. That was Alexis Bush. Elegant, refined, composed, and most importantly, serious. This must be a huge blow to him. For a moment, the whole room fell silent. I could hear the sound of crows in my ears. His face turned darker and darker. He looked at me with disbelief in his eyes, demanding an explanation. I couldn't bear the intense gaze that demanded an explanation, so I pretended to faint, avoiding the heart of seppuku in front of everyone. Why is it that others are just buds, but when it comes to him, it's the crotch? Is he trying to prove something to me? Alexis, regardless of past grievances, took me home. He carried my stiff body into the bedroom and violently threw me onto the bed. The only thing I prayed for was that my right hand wouldn't embarrass me anymore. After about half a minute, I thought Alexis had left. So I opened my eyes. Unexpectedly, he was standing straight in front of me, staring at me with his light-colored eyes full of malice. I was afraid he would assassinate me. I immediately sat up from the bed. I wanted to explain. I'm not a pervert. It's purely the fault of the system. Little did I know, my right hand was faster than my mouth and brain. I grabbed Alexis's suit jacket and pulled it forcefully. Alexis pounced on me, pushing me onto the bed. This posture could be described as very novel. The ambiguity was skyrocketing. I couldn't help but widen my eyes as our breaths intertwined. I don't know if it was an illusion, but I saw a hint of panic in Alexis's expression. You could even say it was shyness. But it quickly disappeared, and he coldly said, "Miss, are you afraid of sleeping alone at night and don't want me to leave?" Only then did I realize that I was still holding onto his jacket. The posture was too ambiguous, and coupled with the embarrassment from earlier, my face turned red in an instant. I quickly let go of Alexis, pulled the blanket over myself, and buried myself in it. I couldn't be more embarrassed. I never expected that while I was overcoming the inconvenience caused by my right hand, the main characters, those big mouths, spread my heroic deeds, causing all the men to avoid me, as if I were some kind of ferocious beast. Now, the only man around me is Alexis. But unfortunately, I dare not complain to him. I'm afraid he'll bring up the old matter and strangle me. Feeling hopeless, I turned and walked into the bedroom, locking myself inside. At night, the damn system appeared. "Host, you have half a month left for your conquest time. Are you sure you want to stay locked in here and not go out?" "I don't need half a month, come on, kill me now." Maybe seeing that I had no fighting spirit left, the system also softened. "All right, host. Within these 3 days, you choose your conquest target, and I'll find a way to restore autonomy to your right hand." Well, that's nice of you to say, but I'm not gonna thank you. Good luck. With the promise of the system, I quickly made another plan. This time, I became smarter. I chose the easiest target. Even if I fail, I don't have to embarrass myself in front of 3 people at once. That is to invite the puppy-like man for a drink. Just by looking at him, you can tell he can't hold his liquor. And compared to the first and second male lead, he has the least emotional attachment. Most importantly, only he is open-minded enough to meet me. This time, I didn't listen to Alexis's advice and deliberately dressed in a sexy and glamorous outfit. I don't believe the puppy-like man won't be swayed. After all, I'm a beautiful and wealthy woman. Plus, his background is average, and as for the rest, well, I didn't bother to find out. Should I talk to him about being a sugar baby? If we keep spending time together, feelings will naturally develop, right? Then we can get married. After completing the mission, I can finally leave the system. When I arrived at the bar, I was dumbfounded by the deafening music. I couldn't hear anything. How could I use the conversation skills taught by the training class? Not to mention talking about being a sugar baby? I'm afraid no one has a more difficult mission than mine, right? Forget it, let's get him drunk first. Then drag him out of the bar. Host, the mission must be voluntary, no drugging, no forcing. Get lost. If I can't do anything, how can I make him love me? Revolution always starts with the first step, and then countless steps will follow. When the puppy-like man saw that my right hand was bound and hanging in front of me, he asked with concern, "Aurora, were your hands beaten by the waiters because you behaved badly that day? Are you being polite?" "No, I accidentally fell." "Really? I don't believe it." I gritted my teeth and smiled. "Do you have to become like me before you'll believe it?" The little puppy forced a smile. "Well, let's forget it." "Good boy." I beckoned the waiter and ordered a few bottles of the strongest liquor. He was scared. "Can you drink with an injured hand?" "It's a happy occasion, I will accompany you." "With your milk-like appearance, can you even handle 3 cups?" But the fact was that he not only could drink, but also finished half a bottle in one gulp. "You didn't tell me you could drink so much." "It's not bad." "It's not bad?" You were really modest. If I had known, I would have changed my plan. "Come on, let's keep drinking." I trembled with the bottle in my hand. "Drinking like this is no fun, how about we play a drinking game?" "Okay." Once again, I made a mistake. How could a person who can drink not know how to play a drinking game? I was about to pass out from drinking, but he was perfectly fine. The little puppy picked up the bottle and was about to pour me another drink when someone stopped his hand. It was Alexis. Oh my God, my savior is here again. Sometimes I really suspect that Alexis can hear my thoughts. He always comes right on time, much more reliable than the damn system. Alexis suddenly looked back at me. His eyes were filled with blame and emotions I couldn't understand. I was stunned. I hinted for him to get the little puppy drunk. He looked like he could drink a lot. With someone backing me up, I confidently stood up from the table. "Come on, let's keep drinking. No one is leaving tonight." Alexis took the bottle from my hand, pulled me to sit next to him. "Don't move." He seemed to be in a bad mood. Could it be that he blamed me for not bringing him along? Alexis poured a full glass for himself and the little puppy. Then with his cold expression and serious gaze, he started playing the drinking game with the little puppy. After a few rounds, I made another mistake. How can you judge someone's drinking ability based on their appearance? The little puppy's alcohol tolerance was simply godlike. Both Alexis and I couldn't outdrink him. In the end, we ended up completely drunk. He didn't have any problems at all. I don't even remember how we got home. The next day, I woke up with a splitting headache and body ache all over. I turned over and immediately rolled under the bed. The tightly tied band on my right hand was gone. I tried to move and then tried to pick up things, go to the bathroom, and wash up. Oh my God, it's not off track anymore. My right hand regained its autonomy. I jumped happily in the room. But suddenly I realized that I needed to set a target in order to regain my autonomy. But who the hell had I set as my target? I frantically called out to the system. The system ignored me. Damn system, are you playing hide and seek with me at this time? Alexis sat up from the other side of the bed, looking confused and still half asleep. Did you call me? What? I walked over in confusion. Could it be that you're the system? Alexis didn't answer, his hazy eyes bent down and touched my head. Don't go out alone in the future, I'm very worried. He's worried about me? I haven't recovered from the shock of sleeping with him on the same bed. He had already picked up his coat and left. I quickly shook my head to deny it. How could the system possibly appear here? Given the situation last night, the target I set was most likely that puppy-like man. Thinking of this, I called him. No one answered. Why does everything fall apart at critical moments? The time for the mission was approaching. What should I do? There's no time to try them one by one. Damn it, if only I hadn't used the trick of getting him drunk. I pushed myself into a dead end just to let my right hand regain its autonomy. I went downstairs for lunch. I was still thinking about the mission. Alexis, in a high-necked shirt, caught my attention. In the middle of summer, aren't you hot? He frowned in surprise. It seems like I was bitten by something last night. Really? Let me see. I walked to his side and pulled down his collar to check. Wow, it's not a bite mark, it's a hickey. When did you start dating behind my back? Looks pretty intense. He looked at me blankly. What did you say? Obviously, he didn't believe he had lost his virginity. I laughed loudly, mocking him. You've lived for so long, and you don't even know what a hickey looks like? Alexis, that blockhead, actually blushed. You've never been in a relationship? My goodness, so innocent? Could it be that you don't even know who did it? Right, you were so drunk last night. You probably don't even know how you lost your virginity. Soon, I couldn't laugh anymore. Because I realized. Last night, in the private room, there were only the puppy-like man, Alexis, and me, 3 people. Either Alexis and I were rivals in love, or Alexis and I were lovers. My goodness, there's too much information to process. I couldn't accept it for a while. So, alcohol is the root of all evil.